Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. Today we're going to be looking at a rather silly one. It is the Barbarian skill Leap. Leap is literally just what it says. It's an ability that makes you leap. You leap, and you leap, and you leap some more, and you leap. Now leveling it up increases the range of the leap, so if you have a relatively low level leap ability, you don't really get much leapage out of it. And I'm going to kind of try and show you this as best I can. So let me go ahead and throw some points in here. And I'm going to take off my plus to skills. So 1 point in leap gives us level 3, which is a pretty decent little level for somebody who only has 1 point in it. And if we go into Frigid Highlands and do a leap, you'll notice that it really doesn't go very far. That's the maximum distance that leap can go at level 3. Now, if we level it up, the range that leap can go does go up, and you see that we get a nice little increase. And we also get an increase in the knockback radius. So the higher level we go, the further the knockback radius goes, to the point where literally all monsters within 16.6 yards are being knocked back, which is kind of insane. And this effect is actually pretty ridiculous in terms of what it can do for survivability. Like, for instance, let's say we were to go to Canyon of the Magi, which is a good place to demonstrate this, and we got surrounded by monsters. So let's say we're just running around, and there's a million monsters around us. Let's see if we can get, like, 1 billion monsters. And not really a good number there. Let's see if we can get some maggots in there. Get a couple of maggots. Now, what you can do with a leap barbarian is you literally just leap. And you can knock back every single monster to the edge of the radius. Not only does this work at knocking the monsters back to the edge of the radius, but you can also lock them against the wall using the same mechanic. So let's say if I were to go inside of one of the tombs, and I got a bunch of Erdars here, right? They are now locked against the wall, and they can't do anything. This knockback effect that Leap has is actually extremely powerful, and allows the Barbarian to just completely and utterly lock down entire rooms full of monsters. Now, granted, it doesn't do any damage while you're doing this, but it doesn't really have to. It's a survivability and a mobility technique. It's not meant for that purpose. And as long as the monsters are stuck in their hit recovery animation, they can't fight back. So, Leap is just absolutely amazing in that regard. Now, it is important to note that Leap does trigger lightning enchantment. So notice how this monster right here is lightning enchanted. If you continue to leap, every single time you hit the target, you will cause the lightning enchantment to happen. And I'd like to see if I can recreate one of the most horrible experiences of my Diablo 2 career, which is where I got PK'd by a leaping barbarian in Canyon of the Magi. So as you all know, Canyon of the Magi can spawn beetles. And every time a beetle is hit, they produce a lightning spark, right? Well, the thing is that every time you leap, they produce a lightning spark also. And we were surrounded by beetles. Just absolutely and utterly surrounded by beetles. At which point, the Barbarian was doing this. And the field of lightning bolts that was surrounding us was literally everywhere, all over the place. And even with 75% lightning resistance, we were all still slowly dying. Because there was just lightning bolts everywhere. And we were begging the Barbarian to stop. We're like, please stop leaping. He didn't stop leaping. We literally all died. And then finally he realized that he was the one making all the lightning bolts. And he was the one that literally killed us. Either that or he did it deliberately. I don't really know which. But it was pretty terrible. Obviously, Leap has more than just the knockback. It is also very good as a a movement ability. So if you're ever stuck somewhere and you want to get across a gap, it does work pretty good for getting across the gap. Leap has been patched, by the way, so it no longer has the super slow animation that it used to have a long time ago. It goes a lot quicker now. It's no longer the superhero jump. It's like... It's actually a lot quicker now. I'm actually pretty impressed with the speed of it, and it does work pretty well. Now, another thing to note about the leap ability is that since the range of the leap is based upon the level of the leap, just simply having leap might not necessarily be enough. And there is an alternative. So there is one ability in the game that is just like leap, but it's not. It's called Leap Attack. Now, Leap Attack doesn't have the same range issue that Leap does. So whereas you have to have a high-level Leap to get the decent range, you don't have to have a high-level Leap Attack to get the decent range, which makes Leap Attack a good alternative choice for movement abilities. However, keep in mind that Leap Attack does not have the knockback effect that Leap does, so it is not as safe to use as Leap is. Leap, you can literally leap into a group of monsters, it knocks them all back for you, and when you land, you're relatively safe from most damage because the monsters can't even get to you. Whereas Leap Attack, on the other hand, although it does have the long leap duration without plus the skills, it doesn't have the safety that Leap does. And, I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to Leap and Leap Attack. You have to invest a lot of points into Leap, unfortunately, to get the really nice knockback, which is really what makes Leap so effective. If you already have a large amount of plus the skills, you might be able to get away with just 1 point. But it's definitely a very effective movement ability. Now, there are certain things that you can't leap over, but believe it or not, a lot of things you can. Even though it might seem like you can't, like even places in, say, Flayer Jungle, where there's archways or like jail pathways, a lot of the times you can leap over stuff, even in places like Flayer Jungle, that you would think otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Let me see if I can find one in the Swampy Pit real quick, and we'll see if we can demonstrate kind of some of these areas that look like you can't get over them, but you can still leap over them anyway. See if I can find one of these pathways. As you can see here is a jail door, and I can still leap over the jail door for some reason. Even though, obviously, it is a solid object. There's other things like that in the game that look like you might not be able to leap over them, but you end up being able to leap over them anyway. So it's always worth a check real quick to see if you can do it, because you never really know if you're capable of leaping over it until you give it a try. And some things, you know, like you're not going to be able to get past. Like you can't leap over dead space. Like for instance, right here, there's obviously a pathway on the other side, and normally you would be able to teleport there, but you can't leap there. So it does have its limitations in those terms. You're not going to be able to leap to a space that you can see on the map, but you can't actually get to. I think that's pretty much it. As always, I'd appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and I hope you enjoyed the spectacle of me causing 1 million beetles to shoot out lightning. As always, keep shooting out lightning.